Behind locked classroom doors and in dimly lit hallways, strange things have happened. Things so twisted, even the staff refuse to speak about them.
That scared the shit out of me.
Students vanished without trace. Security cameras captured figures no one can explain, and unsettling voices were recorded in the dead of night. What you're about to see isn't just disturbing. It'll make you question what really goes on when the bell rings and when it doesn't.
See, no.
Janitors clean up messes, not floating problems. A janitor was doing his usual work and entered a classroom where a few balloons were present around. Nothing strange at first, until one red balloon started to act differently. At first, he thought it was just floating randomly, but soon the balloon began to follow him. He tried to ignore it, thinking it was his imagination, but when he stepped out of the classroom, it followed him outside too. That's when he realized something unseen was there, something ghostly. Since that night, working in that hallway never felt safe again.
Ooh. No, I can't.
Haunted school. Some schools fail to teach one important lesson: when to run. These friends entered an abandoned school in Indonesia. People in the area often warned about strange activities there. Still, these friends chose to visit late at night. At first, everything seemed calm, but soon, the lights on one floor began turning on and off by themselves. That was the first warning. Instead of leaving, they kept exploring. Then, suddenly, chairs in front of them started dragging on their own. That moment was enough. They ran out and never looked back. Vanishing Presence. This security guard found something way above his pay grade. A video shared in 2016 showed a guard patrolling a college in San Francisco late at night. While walking through the halls, he heard a loud sound. When he turned, he caught a dark, shadowy figure disappearing around the corner. He ran after it, but when he turned the corner, no one was there. He even checked the stairs, but the place was empty. It didn't seem possible for anyone to vanish that fast. Some say he caught the spirit of a girl who once ended her life there and still walks those halls. Dark Presence. Some places look abandoned, but something inside is always watching. Near a small town outside Houston, there's an old school no one dares to visit. But a group of YouTubers decided to explore it. As soon as they stepped in, they felt something wasn't right. Strange sounds echoed through the building. At times, they heard things moving far away. It felt like something invisible was around them. Still, they kept going until they entered one classroom and caught a quick glimpse of a dark figure. That was enough. They turned around and left. To this day, no one knows what they really saw in that classroom.
Dude, something's in here.
Haunted classroom. Boring classes are normal, but this one turned into a horror show. Students were quietly attending a lecture. Most of them were probably bored until everything changed. Out of nowhere, the teacher's table started dragging by itself. Everyone froze in shock. Before they could react, a book on the table also slid and flew across the room. That was enough. The entire class ran out, terrified. No one ever figured out what caused it, and that classroom remains locked to this day. Locked classroom.
Just knock on it, knock.
A group of girls decided to open a classroom that had been locked for many years. They took it lightly at first, laughing and treating it like a fun challenge. But as they reached the door, a loud and strange sound came from inside. It was as if some powerful unseen force was trying to warn them. Fear took over, and without wasting a second, they ran away. That moment made them understand why the room was locked in the first place. Spirit behind. A strange video from an unknown source puzzled everyone online. It shows a school in Asia where kids are doing their morning prayer. As they all bow down, something unusual appears. In the last row, behind one student, there's another child. But the strange thing is, no one saw this extra kid in real life. Many viewers gave different opinions. Some believe it's the ghost of a student who lost life years ago in the same school. Others say a spirit might have entered someone's body. Whatever it was, that single moment turned a normal assembly into a viral mystery. Lost dog. Sometimes searching for a dog leads to something you were never meant to find. In a small Indonesian town, a man was looking for his pet dog. His search led him to a place no one visits, an abandoned school. He believed the dog had run inside, so he kept looking through the empty halls. At first it felt quiet, but then he started sensing something strange. He thought it was his dog, until classroom chairs began dragging by themselves. That's when he realized whatever was there, it wasn't his pet. Without looking back, he left the school and never returned. Kid ghost.
Start investigating here in the basement and work my way through. I can't explain to you guys how freaking cold it is inside this building.
Some places hold memories that refuse to fade. A YouTuber decided to investigate an abandoned school with a dark past. Research revealed that a child had tragically lost his life in an accident here. Since the school was abandoned, no one had dared to visit. The YouTuber, undeterred, explored the building, only to be met with strange noises and moving objects. Hoping to communicate with the child's spirit, he attempted to make contact, but the unsettling activity only intensified. It was as if the ghost was warning him to leave. Taking the hint, he decided it was time to go.
I'll set this device right here. I worked here.
Unusual encounter. One explorer entered an abandoned school, hoping to find something interesting. The building was quiet, but felt strange. It was as if something unseen was watching. While walking through a hallway, he suddenly saw a figure standing right in front of him. Shocked, he fell back, but when he got closer, he realized it was just a dummy. Or was it? The eyes didn't look fake, and the way it fell didn't feel normal. Maybe it wasn't just a lifeless dummy after all.
Is racing.
School haunted secret. A strange video from an unknown source left every viewer puzzled. The CCTV footage showed a school hallway where a locker started shaking on its own, like something unseen but powerful was trying to open it. Then, a bag lying on top suddenly flew off, like someone threw it. And just when it seemed over, a chair nearby began to drag across the floor. People shared different thoughts. Some believed this school was haunted, and management knew it. They kept it a secret. Others said it should be shut down before things get worse. Whatever it was, it clearly didn't want to stay hidden anymore. Ghostly warning. In Iraq, a group of tourists spotted an old abandoned building. Curiosity pulled them inside, even though they didn't ask the locals about the place. At first, everything seemed like a normal ruined site, but things changed the moment they stepped into a hallway. Out of nowhere, a dark, ghostly figure appeared, and then, right in front of their eyes, it changed its shape. That was the moment they knew this wasn't just an old building. They ran and never looked back. Midnight terror. Some jobs get harder when you're not the only one in the building. This janitor was just doing his work, unaware that he might not be alone in the school that night. Everything seemed fine until he heard strange sounds from the upper floor. It was late, so he didn't go check. Probably the right call. But when he later watched the CCTV footage, he was shocked. A dark, ghostly figure was clearly seen moving at full speed from one place to another. Since that day, working in that school has never felt safe again. Ghost in Match. During a football match between Northview High and Lake Hill Academy, a woman filmed a cheerleading routine. At first, nothing seemed odd, but when she watched the video weeks later, she saw a ghostly figure running across the field. The footage went viral, and her daughter claimed it couldn't be edited. Her mom doesn't even know how to use editing apps. To this day, no one can explain who or what was sprinting across that field. Hunter encounter. Bravery sometimes meets what it wasn't ready for. A ghost hunter explored an old abandoned school late at night. He walked through the whole building with courage, but something strange kept happening. He felt like someone was around him, even though no one was visible. Later, when he checked the camera footage, he was shocked. Every spot where he felt a presence had a ghostly figure. Somehow, he made it out safely. But now he knows. It wasn't just an empty building. It was their home. Abandoned hospital.
Allahu Akbar, Kang.
A ghost hunter stepped into an old, abandoned hospital late at night. From the moment he entered, he could sense something was wrong, but he still decided to stay and explore. After a while, a wheelchair began to move all by itself, which scared him badly. But before he could react, he saw a dark figure behind one of the windows. He got terrified, but still didn't leave. Honestly, he should have walked out the moment he felt that strange presence. Not everyone walks out safely from places where unseen beings still live.
Allahu Akbar, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un.
Lucky escape. In Japan, an explorer was passing by an abandoned town and decided to stay for a while before continuing his journey. Unaware of what lay ahead, he stumbled upon an old religious school building. As expected, he began to feel an unusual presence around him. Despite the unsettling feeling, he stayed. When he reached the stairs, he heard footsteps, but no one was there. A stick suddenly fell, and then he threw a balloon into the air, only for it to be caught by some unseen force. That was the moment he realized he wasn't alone. Luckily, nothing harmful happened, and he safely left. Slamming doors. While working the night shift at a stadium in Buenos Aires, a security guard kept hearing strange noises coming from a dressing room. The door inside was opening and slamming shut repeatedly. Hoping to catch someone in the act, he started recording with his phone. But as he opened the door, the room appeared completely empty. Just when he thought it was nothing, a dark shadow quickly moved across the benches and passed straight through the wall. He didn't see it in person, but the camera did. After watching the footage, he realized whatever that thing was, it definitely wasn't human. Mysterious school.
Bro, was that a bat that flew past us?
These YouTubers decided to explore a haunted, abandoned school, which, according to locals, was once a private house. The government had demolished the house to build the school, but the ghost of the original owner was believed to still haunt the place. This is why the school had to be closed. From the start, the explorers felt an unusual presence. They heard sounds of objects falling and even the noise of a train.
A Ford, a funeral.
Despite there being no train station nearby. The real twist came when they heard the sound of a piano playing. When they went to investigate, a small book was thrown in their direction. It was clear the spirit didn't want them to stay. After observing a bit more, they left, which was the right call.
Bro, if this piano plays, I'm gonna freak out, because we heard a piano.
Yeah, right?
Unseen presence. Not every mystery comes with a face. Sometimes, it's just sound and movement. A guy explored an old abandoned school, expecting silence. But what he got was anything but that. Strange noises echoed through the halls, and things around him seemed to move on their own. The school had been empty for years, falling apart slowly, and yet what he saw and heard didn't match the building's broken state. Something was active, something invisible. In places like this, silence doesn't always mean nothing is there.
This shit's still there. Don't explore alone.
Unidentified figure. Recently, CCTV footage from a school captured something strange, leaving everyone puzzled. It all started when the local security guard reviewed the footage, which baffled him. In the video, a tiny, strange object can be seen moving around on the ground, shifting from one place to another. People had different opinions about what it could be. Some believed it was a stick, possibly being dragged by some ghostly figure, while others thought it could be a prank. However, the idea of a prank didn't seem likely, as the circumstances were too odd and unexplained. Strange figure. A man from a small village in the Philippines came home late at night after work. As he entered his house, he sensed that something strange was happening. While checking around, he noticed something unusual outside one of the windows. A white figure was jumping in a very strange and unnatural way. He kept watching it for a while, trying to understand what it was. But no matter how long he stared, he couldn't figure it out. When he finally stepped outside to check, there was no one there at all. What exactly was happening that night remains a complete mystery. Paranormal evidence. One of the most mysterious school incidents happened in Idaho, inside Pocatello High School. On December 19, 2014, security cameras captured strange events, lights flickering in multiple areas, followed by a ghostly figure calmly walking out of the bathroom and down the hallway. This school has a long history of eerie happenings. People have reported bizarre events like a group vanishing, strange piano music coming from the theater at night, and shadowy figures roaming. Paranormal experts John and Lisa Bryan came to investigate, but even their gear mysteriously went missing, later found in an impossible spot. Whatever haunts this school clearly doesn't like visitors. Exploration went wrong. At first glance, it felt like a scene straight out of a horror movie. A man who loved exploring abandoned places decided to check out an old, empty school. But this time, something unexpected happened. As soon as he stepped inside, he felt a strange presence around him. A chair began to drag across the floor, clearly not by itself. Before he could process what was happening, the swings outside started moving on their own. That was the final sign. This wasn't just some forgotten school. It was home to something unexplainable, something that didn't want to be disturbed. Terrifying encounter. In a small town in Iran, a man accidentally entered an abandoned school. He was new to the area and had no idea about the building's dark past. At first, he thought it was just an old place, but soon realized he was lost inside. While searching for a way out, things took a strange turn. He suddenly felt like someone was inside the room with him. Then he saw a terrifying figure facing away. The figure slowly lifted its head upward and bent it back toward him. That moment terrified him completely. Luckily, he escaped, but he's not going back. Ever. Headless ghost. Back in 2015, a group of tourists arrived at the Stanley Hotel in Colorado for a stay. But during the night, they heard strange noises that pulled everyone out of their rooms. They called the staff, and while they were still talking about what happened, something truly disturbing occurred. A ghostly figure of a child appeared in the hallway, without a head. At that moment, no one saw it clearly, but luckily, one of the tourists had their camera recording. That's how they later discovered what they had missed. After this, the 4th floor stayed closed for a while. But who knows? Maybe that figure still wanders there. Warning. This ghost hunter had experienced countless paranormal events before, but nothing like what happened in this abandoned house. While exploring, he found himself trapped inside. Just as he thought he was about to leave, the door slammed shut on its own. He mustered the courage to go further in, but there was nothing inside. When he tried to leave, an object was thrown at him, causing him to get hurt. Somehow, he managed to escape. It seemed like a warning, a sign that no one should ever return. If whatever was there didn't want him to leave, he might not have made it out. Ghost. The spotlight wasn't the only thing lighting up that stage. During a group dance performance in Savannah, Georgia, everything seemed normal until viewers noticed something strange in the top left corner of the screen. A shadowy figure appears near a door and then runs quickly along the back wall, just behind the dancers. Nobody on stage seemed to notice anything unusual at the time. Many now believe it could be the spirit of someone tied to the buildings long past. The timing, motion, and form have left even skeptics unsure. Whatever that was, it wasn't part of the performance, but it sure took center stage. Silent Watcher. In a small town in Romania, there stood an old abandoned church said to be a center for strange activity. One man decided to explore it himself. As soon as he entered, he began to feel something was off. A wooden stick near him moved on its own, but he ignored it and went down into the basement. Though he couldn't see anyone, he had the strong feeling that he wasn't alone. Later, when he watched the footage he had recorded, he saw the truth. There was someone or something standing in the dark. A silent figure had been watching him the entire time. Dark figure. A man was looking for his missing pet cats and ended up near an old abandoned house. This place hadn't seen a single visitor in years. As he nervously searched the area, he finally found his cats. But then, something strange caught his attention. He felt eyes watching him. When he looked up at the roof, he saw a dark figure standing there, silently observing him. Fear took over, and he quickly left the place. Maybe this house wasn't abandoned after all. Maybe it now belonged to that dark figure. Hospital terror.
Hello.
When it comes to haunted places, nothing beats an abandoned hospital. Still, one guy decided to explore it. The moment he stepped inside, he sensed something was off. Soon, he saw a terrifying humanoid figure in a room and quickly turned to the other side. But what he saw next left him shocked. A surgery was happening inside one of the rooms. He couldn't believe it, knowing the hospital was abandoned. And just when he thought it couldn't get worse, a scary woman appeared right in front of his face. That was it. He ran for his life, not daring to look back. Wrong entry. Opening the wrong door is fine, until the door starts closing on its own. A man stepped into an abandoned house just to take a look around, but the moment he entered, things turned strange. Doors began slamming shut by themselves, and random objects started shifting without reason. Unnerved, he rushed out, but as he looked back, a window above suddenly slammed shut too, right after he had glanced to the left, as if something inside wanted to make sure he was really gone. Sometimes, even the walls want silence. Scary encounter. Truth or dare? More like truth and nightmare. A group of friends were having fun playing Truth and Dare until one of them got the scariest challenge: go inside an abandoned house known for strange happenings. Trying to be brave, the friend stepped inside. Right away, something felt wrong. Things began to move, doors slammed without warning, and the feeling of being watched only grew stronger. Angry and scared at the same time, they checked every room. Nothing was there. But the fear stayed with them as they rushed out. The dare might be over, but the question still lingers. What was really waiting inside? Wrong call. Curiosity doesn't always lead to answers. Sometimes it just leads to fear. In an old village stood a worn-out, abandoned house. Its walls were cracked, and the silence around it was unsettling. A guy decided to explore it, but the moment he stepped in, the broken doors started slamming loudly on their own. No wind, no one else. Just the echo of each slam bouncing through the empty structure. Some say the house is angry it was forgotten. Temperature mystery.
What the hell is that?
In October 2022, YouTuber Chris Hill explored the Cedar Avenue substation in Cleveland, Ohio, a place abandoned since 1948 and rumored to be haunted. While walking through the crumbling building, he felt sudden temperature drops, heard strange noises, and unknowingly filmed a white shadow moving behind a concrete shelf. The real horror came when a loud bang echoed and a shadowy figure appeared beside him, then vanished. Chris felt sick and started vomiting, unaware a ghostly presence was seen staring at him in the footage. He returned a month later for more answers, but some doors are better left closed.
I do have my gun just in case.
Chandagar ghost. It was a cold winter night in Chandagar, but what happened next made everyone freeze for a different reason. Inside a girls' hostel, one student suddenly screamed. She had just seen something strange, a ghostly figure standing near the corridor. Her scream brought everyone out of their rooms. To their shock, many of them saw the same thing. Without wasting a second, they all ran out of the building, even from outside. Some claimed that the figure was still standing inside, watching them silently. Whatever it was, it didn't seem ready to leave. CCTV caught. Owning a house with CCTV might give peace of mind, but not when it captures something like this. A man was reviewing footage from his home's camera when he noticed something strange in the kids' room. A small swing toy was moving on its own. At first, he thought it might be due to strong wind, but the windows were closed. Then, the cupboard door slowly opened and shut by itself, while the owner watched, frozen in fear. The most shocking part was that the little girl in the room didn't react at all. She just sat there, completely calm. What exactly was happening in that room remains a mystery. Ghost in plane. Ever heard of ghosts flying first class? A patrolman named Francisco Hernandez was doing his usual round inside a parked plane in Mexico City around 3 a.m. He had heard strange noises and doors slamming, so he went in to check. As he walked down the dark aisle with just his flashlight, a shadowy figure suddenly peeked at him from the corner. He was alone, or at least he thought so. The scariest part? The camera caught it all. No one knows what it was, but that flight was definitely not empty. Drone catch. What happens when your drone sees more than you do? In Gloucestershire, a man named Thomas was testing his new drone over the old Berkeley Castle. Everything seemed fine until the drone mysteriously lost connection for 10 seconds. He brought it down safely and didn't think much of it until he checked the footage later. What he saw left him stunned. A shadowy knight-like figure could be seen galloping through the castle grounds. No horses were present, no riders, just a strange figure that wasn't supposed to be there. That day, Thomas didn't just fly a drone, he flew straight into the past. Church encounter. A man entered an abandoned church known for strange happenings. At first, it was quiet, but just as he stepped near the altar, his worst fear appeared. Sitting on a dusty old chair was a terrifying nun. People say she passed away years ago, but her ghost is believed to possess bodies inside the church. Terrified for a moment, the man watched as the figure slowly moved. Overwhelmed with fear, he turned and ran for his life. He made it out, but the image of that haunted nun still haunts him.
Oh my God!
Camping ghost.
大丈夫ですか?
Sometimes, the woods aren't as quiet as they seem. A camper in a remote part of China found himself in the middle of a terrifying mystery one night. While resting in his van, he was suddenly jolted awake by something or someone pounding on the roof. Before he could react, the door to his camper slammed shut on its own. Though he tried to see what was causing the ruckus, there was nothing visible outside. What could make such a noise but something not of this world? He probably won't be camping alone in the woods again anytime soon.
Ooh.
Ghost Kid. Night shifts can be boring, unless you meet someone who isn't really there. A security guard in a mall in Mexico saw a little girl sitting alone at a table during his rounds. When he asked her why she was there, she calmly said she was waiting for her mother. The guard even patted her head gently, but when he called his team, they were confused. The cameras showed no one sitting with him. Another camera showed him looking lost, and then suddenly running away. Turns out the mall had one extra guest that night, and only he could see her. Ghostly activity. When chairs start moving on their own, you know the guests aren't human. In Worcestershire's Abbeydale Community Centre, Clem Dalloway set up a camera after staff complained about strange events, missing items, broken furniture, and creepy vibes. What the footage captured shook everyone. A chair was suddenly flung across the room, and a heavy door slammed shut without anyone around. It looked like something, or someone, was throwing a tantrum after hours. The ghostly activity didn't stop there, making the place a viral sensation. Whatever was haunting that room clearly had a serious attitude problem, and no respect for furniture. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. In 2019, a 13-year-old girl named Sajmin Akhtar disappeared from her school, and what followed was nothing short of bizarre. The school offered no clear explanation, only strange, conflicting stories. But one chilling claim stood out. A teacher said Sajmin had been taken by a jinn. In some parts of the world, jinns are believed to be invisible spirits capable of possessing or abducting people. Locals claimed that Sajmin had shown odd behavior before she vanished, like speaking to herself or staring into empty spaces. They even found footage in her phone, where she can be seen following a strange figure. But that was all. Her family was left devastated, with no solid answers, only a growing belief that something beyond human understanding had taken her. To this day, she has never been found, and the rumors haven't stopped.